Okay. So now here we are talking about explain one data source enhancement of your experience. It's an interview question. So maybe why we need data source enhancements in BW side. Okay. In what scenarios we may get this kind of requirement. Okay. Multiple scenarios are there, but I will try to explain one or two here. Okay. So one thing is SAP given us n number of data sources for us already, standard data sources. Okay, if you go to RSA 5, in RSA 5 we can see more in n number of data sources here. SAP given all these data sources specific to content level to satisfy most of the business scenarios. Okay, for example, in this one, let's take one data source, zero material ATTR. Okay, let's take this data source zero material ATTR. So when SAP is giving this data source, what it done is it's the main table for this data source is Mara table. Okay, so whatever data we will get from this data source into our BW is most of the data comes from Mara table only. Okay, so Mara table only. Just a second. But what happens in real time? What happens? So where is this Mara table? I am going to explain one more thing. So what happens? How this Mara table gets data? In ECC side, there will be a transaction called what is this? MM03. MM03 is a transaction code where we can see product information, like material information on ECC side. So if I come to this MM03 and if I given one material data here and click on enter, so it will show many screens like this, selecting one and then clicking on OK. It will display my material generic information. Okay, so now whatever information I am seeing here, most of the information will be saved in my Mara table. Okay, now what happens is SAP given these standard screens to each and every customer. But customers, may have extra requirement. Customer or a client may have extra requirement to add some extra fields, because these are the fields which is given by SAP after doing so much investigation on each and every business area. But at the same time, as per the client specific, they need some extra fields in these screens. Now what happen is, when they need some extra information on the screen, they will go for enhancement of the screen. Then our ABAP team, ABAPers will can add some extra information in this screen. Like for example, medium, there is one box to enter some information. In the same way, if a client asking our ABAP team to add one more field called product group and one box to provide product information, then this can be done by the ABAP team. Okay, now so what happens whenever customer creates a new material, then they will update some product group information here, and SAP our ABAP team will provide a logic to store this product group information in the Mara table. Okay, so this is all can be done in the SAP ECC side by using SAP ABAP team support. Okay, now what exactly happens? Now at the end, if I go to Excel sheet, we have Mara table. So far in a Mara table, let's say we have around 10 columns are there as an example. Now as per client requirement, our ECC team enhanced one extra field product group to the Mara table. Okay, so whenever customer creates one new material information, they are going to store some product group information also, like P1, P2. Maybe P1 means product group 1 and P2 means a product group 2. Like this, they will going to provide information. So in the Mara table, we have one extra new column newly created. And when coming to BW side, our data source zero material underscore ATTR data source is a standard data source given by SAP with most of the fields coming from the Mara table. But this data source doesn't have this product group because it is a newly added field by our client requirement. Okay, now we have a requirement to bring this information into our BW side. So how you can bring this information to BW? We can bring only by doing a data source enhancement for this material data attribute data source. By enhancing the standard data source, you can bring this field into this one and from here into our BW. Okay, so how you can do enhancement for this material attribute data source? So we need to follow some standard procedure to enhance a data source. Okay, these are already I covered in my ECC SAP BW ABAP videos. You can get that information from there. So in this video, data source enhancement concept end to end, you get the information of how to enhance a data source. Either it is a 2LS data source or either it is a standard data source, whatever it may be, we need to enhance in the same way. Okay, it is available in the playlist SAP BW ABAP in Telugu. Okay, yeah, in English I will keep later. Yeah, that is second point. Now going back to our topic. So what happens in this data source? Now what I will do using standard procedure, I will enhance one extra column product group and I will create a relevant info object gprd underscore group in BW, and I will add this info object to my zero material master data info object under attributes tab, and I will map this field product group PRD group, let's say this one. I will map this product group field to in our transformation to our material master data. So in this way I am going to bring this information into BW. Okay, so but what kind of information I am bringing? I am bringing information of product group, which is key part only I am bringing. I am not bringing text information of this product group. So in order to get this text information also into BW, what we need to do? We need to enable text master data for this info object, and I need to create a text flow on top of it. Okay, for example, in any the field, for example, let's take basic data. In this, let's take this field. For this field EA is the key and each is the text. Okay, if you want to know this description is available in which table in ECC side, if you want such kind of information, there is one shortcut. It will work 90%, 10%, it may not give proper result. You need to press F1 on this one. Okay, when you press F1, like first select this field, whatever text you have, and then press F1. And after that you click on this technical information. In this technical information, you can get the table name and the field which is storing this information. Okay, so like this you can identify the table. So once you know the table where we are storing this text information, then you can create one custom data source based upon that table, and you can bring the text flow into our BW. So in that way we are enhancing the data source and we are creating a text data source also one on top of it. Okay, to bring this new information into BW. So to conclude this topic, I am giving one example where exactly we do data source enhancements. Whenever there are new fields added to any standard T codes, standard screens in ECC, any new fields added to the standard screens in ECC, now that information won't come to BW as part of standard data sources. So we need to enhance the standard data source to bring that information into BW. So this is one of the example for the why we create a data source enhancements. Okay, so once we extracted the information on top of it, while enhancing the data source, you may bring only key part of the information. If you have text also for that field, then we need to create extra custom data sources based upon the text tables of those fields. Okay, that's all. We can conclude by saying this thing. So I'm stopping recording.